organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on this Wednesday morning edition of Daily Iowan TV, big changes. One local mayor is resigning. And later, see why your textbooks might be a little bit cheaper this semester.
The Iowa Wrestlers are taking on the number 2 team in the country Friday. Find out how they're feeling about the matchup. And we introduce to you some VIPs on the women's basketball team, but they aren't players.
All that and more coming up. Daily Iowan TV starts now. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Cervantes. Minimum wage increase in Johnson County may be coming to an end. Under the previous Iowa state government, Johnson County was to be able to increase minimum wage, rolling out a minimum wage of $10.10 on January 1st. However, Johnson County Supervisor Mark Carberry says that the new legislature is not too fond of the idea of increasing minimum wage in Iowa. Under the newly elected state government, there is a chance that county control of minimum wages will be given back to the state. And while Carberry remains hopeful that the state wages will increase, he fears wages will not surpass $8.25. The Iowa City Council passed the first consideration of resolution reaffirming the city's stance on local enforcement of federal immigration laws. The resolution was voted on 7-0 as national conversation about immigration has become more polarizing over the past months. Many in the Iowa City community have been discussing the possibility of making Iowa City a sanctuary city. The resolution passed Tuesday reaffirms the police department's focus on enforcing local laws and keeping Iowa City residents safe. University Heights Mayor Wally Heitman announced his resignation last Sunday, effective immediately. The University Heights website says Heitman stated personal reasons led to his resignation. In a statement, Heitman said, quote, "It is with deep regret that I announce to you my immediate resignation as mayor. I do this for a very personal reason which I am unable to deal with and also adequately carry out my responsibilities as mayor. I will assist as much as possible in the transition. It has been an honor to serve you." End quote. The city council will vote to accept Heitman's resignation on Thursday. Until Heitman's vacancy is filled, Mayor Pro Tem Jerry Zimmerman will serve as acting mayor. Just days before leaving office, President Obama continues to make controversial moves in the White House. Yesterday, it was announced that President Obama is reducing the sentencing for Chelsea Manning. Manning was sentenced to 35 years in prison for leaking classified military information to WikiLeaks back in 2010. She is set to be released on May 17th of this year after serving 7 years of her sentence. Donald Trump's inauguration is just 2 days away, and the event is continuing to make headlines. Growing numbers of Democratic lawmakers have vowed to boycott President-elect Trump's inauguration, saying they will not be attending, and the problems with the event continue as growing numbers of performers, including Paul Anka and Jennifer Holliday, have backed out, saying they will no longer be performing. Tune into our broadcast tomorrow when Daily Iowan TV reporter Zhao Li gets the scoop on how people are reacting to the inauguration here in Iowa City. With the end of winter break and the start of the new semester, many students are looking to buy books for their new classes. With many options around town and even online, it may be hard to find the best deals. However, thanks to an initiative from the UI student government, textbooks will now be sold without an added sales tax at the Hawk Shop in the Iowa Memorial Union. UISG President Rachel Zuckerman said that while the UISG recognizes rising tuition costs as an issue for students, there's not much the group can do. However, they see the sales tax initiative as an opportunity to help students, saying, quote, "We've been turning to non-tuition expenses things such as housing, food, and textbooks as a way to hopefully save the students money on their college experience," end quote. But while cheaper costs for textbooks will benefit students, the Hawk Shop also offers another option for students. Daily Iowan TV reporter Haley Van Dyke stopped to find out more.
School is back in session, and it's that time to get your textbooks at the Iowa Hawk Shop. You can either buy your books or save a few extra dollars and try renting the book instead. There are hundreds of books waiting for students to pick them up for the semester. Don't see your book? Don't worry. The Iowa Hawks team will personally look it up for you, so you don't have to miss out. Another option is buying online, then picking it up in the store.
Really picked up is where people place their orders online and then they pick them up here, and stores where people queue up to pick up their boxes. There's probably a couple hundred boxes piled up on shelving.
The Hawk Shop also has a tool you can use to look up the books you need in case you aren't sure. Don't worry if you've purchased the wrong book. Students, there is another way.
Wrong book, if we sold you the wrong book, if the professor decides not to use the book, you switch class, it doesn't matter. And if you drop a class, then you have another 2 weeks until February 27th. I guess that's 3 more weeks until February 27th to return it. That's for a full refund.
Don't forget to grab your books. I'm Haley Van Dyke at the Hawk Shop. Come check it out.
Well, while walking to work this morning, I for once did not slip on ice, and I can't help but hope that this is the end to an early winter. Here's F.A. Ironrow in the weather studio. F.A., please tell me you can affirm my suspicions.
That's right, Chris. It looks like the weather is going to remain cold, but there will be a lack of ice, so don't worry about slipping. Nevertheless, there will be a few showers later on this week. This time last year, the temperature was pretty low at 7 degrees. Thankfully, it's going to be a lot warmer this morning and into the afternoon at 46 degrees. By evening, expect temperatures to drop to 30 degrees. Thursday morning expected to be wet with temperatures at 42 degrees. Taking a look at the extended forecast for the week, we're expecting a lot of rain on Thursday with a high of 42 and a low of 36. So definitely keep your umbrella handy. Friday will be cloudy with a high of 44 and a low of 40. Temperatures are expected to rise on Saturday with partly cloudy skies with a high of 56 and a low of 37. It's expected to rain Sunday through Monday with temperatures settling in the low 30s to mid 40s. Tuesday is expected to be partly cloudy with a high of 43 and a low of 36. It's definitely going to be wet this next few days, so stay dry. That's all I have for you this morning. Back to you, Chris.
Due to the heavy ice storm we have been seeing over the past week, Iowa spent more than $2 million. The Iowa Department of Transportation recently calculated the winter cost between noon this past Sunday to noon yesterday. The cost includes more than 36 million pounds of salt on Iowa Road and 9,325 labor hours. Lynn County costs have totaled to $48,261. In Johnson County, costs have reached $27,296. And finally, Iowa County costs have come in at $26,449. Iowa City Police arrested a suspect of reported armed robbery which occurred last Sunday. The possible victim reported his car was near the corner of Friendship Street and First Avenue when two males invaded his car, grabbed him, and then took his money. Police arrested one juvenile male that is facing second-degree robbery, a Class C felony, and more charges are possible. The maximum sentence is 10 years in prison. However, with only one suspect in custody, Iowa City Police are still investigating. According to the Iowa City Area Crime Stoppers, $1,000 will be rewarded for information regarding the other suspect. Police said all calls at 358-TIPS at 477 are in strict confidence and confidential. Those calling with a tip do not have to identify themselves to receive the reward. Well, I heard some good things about our Hawkeye girls basketball team last night. For more in sports, here is Alyssa Odell.
The girls beat Rutgers last night 71-59. We'll have more on them later in the show. Now, the men's basketball team has had their share of ups and downs since conference play kicked off late last month, including a big win over 17 Purdue last week and a disappointing loss on Sunday versus Northwestern. This week, the Hawks are preparing for their next challenge against Maryland, which holds the best record in the Big Ten. Taylor Van Fleet has more from Carver Hawkeye Arena.
The Hawks are coming off their worst loss of the season against Northwestern last weekend, and now they'll try to bounce back against 25th ranked Maryland here at home Thursday night.
We're going to have our ups and downs like any young team will, but at the end of the day, we've already been through 18 or so games, so we know what it's like in the Big Ten, and we just need to have that consistent mindset every day, and that starts in practice and shoot around before games and stuff like that.
just got to go to work, get better. We're going to have to lock in and take everything, a little extra serious during practice in the film room. I need to know the personnel extra well for this game. Obviously, Melo Tremble's a great player, and he's got some really good players around him too.
They got a lot of weapons, and Mark does a really good job with their offense at getting guys shots, and so we got to be ready.
We know what we're capable of doing. I think we kind of open our eyes knowing that we're able to play with any team in the country after we beat Purdue here. And
everyone likes winning a lot more, so after a win, everyone's not really on edge, but after a loss, everyone is really trying to get back to that winning feeling.
The Terrapins are currently ranked #1 in the Big Ten with only 2 losses on the season, so the Hawks are going to need to come out early with a lot of intensity at the place where they do it best. Reporting from Carver Hawkeye Arena, this has been Taylor Van Fleet, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Iowa has proven they can bounce back from disappointing losses already this season, so hopefully they'll be able to pull off another upset here at home Thursday night. We will have complete coverage from that game on Friday. Well, the basketball game isn't the only big conference matchup happening in Iowa City this weekend. The Iowa wrestling squad faces off against #2 Penn State on Friday night in Carver Hawkeye Arena. And even though Penn State is ranked 2nd in the country, the Hawks aren't letting that number scare them.
They've won, a lot of the national titles the last couple of years, and they're kind of like the guys to beat. And so coming to Carver Hawkeye Arena, there's going to be a big crowd. It's going to be great for the sport. It's going to be awesome to compete in.
This isn't something where you just go out there and, even though your approach might be the same, but there's just going to be a little more octane. There's going to be a little more to it, a little more. I'm going to get up just a little bit more, and it's, probably makes it, more fun, makes it more, interesting or compelling for the fans, but it makes it more fun for you too. This is what you live for. You don't shy from those matches. You live for those matches.
So far, 3 Hawkeye wrestlers, junior Brandon Sorensen, redshirt freshman Michael Kemmerer, and Cash Wilkie have undefeated career records in the Big Ten duels, and they're looking to continue that streak on Friday. The Hawks also haven't competed against the Nittany Lions since 2015, which they won, and so far they've won 24 consecutive Big Ten duels, which is the 3rd longest in conference history. So a win against Penn State will be necessary to keep that streak alive and well. Moving on to women's basketball, not only the players are a big part of the success the team is having this season, Mary-Kate Harrion has more.
Not only players sit at the end of the bench for teams. Iowa seniors Blake Winter and AJ Smith took on their role of the Iowa women's basketball managers their sophomore year, and they work day in and day out to make sure these women are successful both on and off the court.
I transferred here my sophomore year, was kind of interested in just being a practice player, but I talked to Abby Stamp, the director of basketball operations, and she asked me if I was interested in being a manager, and so that's how I kind of got started with the role.
I've been playing basketball and been around basketball since I was in 3rd grade and all throughout middle school and high school. And like I said, I didn't do it my freshman year, so it was kind of like a hard thing not being around that kind of like family or team atmosphere. And then when I got back and joined the women's team, it was just awesome to be around that kind of family atmosphere and that team aspect, and that's what I probably enjoy the most.
Even though these boys do not have to play in the games, they put in plenty of extra time and work to make sure the team has the best opportunity to win.
Being a manager, you got to come here, you got to learn how to kind of train. We do a process where we try to help you come to camp, try to work through it. We have a thing called practice squad. A lot of guys get into that, and then if we see they're working hard, we ask them to be a manager. It's kind of a long process too, because they got to be here for Christmas break, spring break, the summer camp. It's a whole long process.
Being managers for now their 3rd and final year, AJ and Blake have learned a lot more than just basketball during their manager careers at Iowa.
I think the thing that I've learned the most is being able to do things 100% and being able to do things the right way when you don't really get the glory light on you.
Probably sounds kind of cliche, but it's the little things in life that really get you to where you want to go. And without putting in the hard work and the time and the dedication, Coach Bluter really preaches that to the girls every day, that without the little things, the big things probably won't be there for you. So it's just the hard work and dedication that really gets you to where you want to go.
Although AJ and Blake may not have their names on the roster, they definitely have a spot on this team and in these girls' hearts. Reporting from Carver Hawkeye Arena, this has been Mary-Kate Harrion for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The managers will be back in action with the team on Saturday as they take on Minnesota at 2 p.m. Tune in tomorrow for our first courtside show of the semester. Chris, back to you.
That's all we have time for this morning on Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to pick up a copy of the Daily Iowan and check out dailyiowan.com for all of the latest news. We'll catch you back here tomorrow morning at 8:30 for another live broadcast. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Chris Cervantes. Have a great day, Iowa City.